Welcome into Bengals Breakdown. I am Tom Downey, once again subbing in for Stone Shields, who is out of town. But there is more Bengals news, this time at least a lot better than the still concerning Trey Hendrickson situation. Mike Gesicki is re-signing with the organization. We'll break that down. We will also mention, by the way, the latest on Tee Higgins and his apparent private flight back to Cincinnati and what that could potentially mean if it ends up meaning anything. We will have videos for you guys all free agency long. Stone will be back in, should be at some point tomorrow. So any news that happens, Stone's got you covered, but I'm subbing in the meantime. So you want more free Bengals videos? Hit that sub button for me right now, youtube.com/BengalsTV. Let's move to Gesicki here. The contract details, a 3-year, $25.5 million deal. As of right now, there are no real details on the guaranteed money. I do know that the reports are that Gesicki is getting $12 million in the first year of his deal. So that's going to include like base salary. That's going to include signing bonus stuff. So I'm going to guess, pure guess, that year one cap hit is probably around $5 million, somewhere in that ballpark. It could be lower. It could be a little bit higher. But that's going to be my guess on what that contract ends up looking like, which, look, I think that's a great deal for the Bengals. Gesicki had a good season for Cincinnati. I think he's a reliable pass catcher. He's never going to be an elite run blocker, but for what Joe Burrow likes, he clearly wanted Mike Gesicki back. This can be step one in what should be a multi-phase operation of the Bengals spending some real money. Whether or not the Hendrickson stuff gets finalized the way we want it to, we'll see, but I think retaining your 65 catch, 665 yard, whatever receiving tight end, who had his best year for the past 2 years after kind of getting phased out and regressing in New England and Miami, after already re-signing Tanner Hudson, I think that's a good thing. You didn't have really the depth at tight end with Erick all banged out, and I'll get into it here, but that contract coming in for Gesicki at the $8.5 million per year range, that's not high at all among tight ends. That does not crack the top 10, and it's kind of barely into the top 15, so which I think at that point ends up kind of making it a bit of a steal. I think having Burrow means Gesicki probably was okay taking a little bit less than trying to max his market after, having to kind of bounce around with 1-year deals a couple seasons in a row. So grade the extension for me. A, B, C, D, or F. You can let me know at the pinned comments of today's video. If the ad comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there and let me know A, B, C, D, or F. There is a long list of tight ends who make more than Gesicki. Travis Kelce, T.J. Hawkinson, George Kittle, Dallas Goedert, Mark Andrews, David Njoku, Cole Kmet, Pat Freiermuth, Dalton Schultz. Noah Fant makes $10 million per year, which I think is kind of, I don't know, crazy is the right word for it, but kind of surprising. I think Noah Fant probably would have been a good comparison. Noah Fant got paid. He got to 500 yards last year, which he had not hit since 2021. Fant is making more money. Dalton Schultz is making more money. Hunter Henry, Dawson Knox, Taysom Hill, which is kind of weird. Tyler Higbee makes the same amounts of money as Mike Gesicki, and all of those deals came in on previous salary cap figures, where the cap continues to rise and grow and expand. So doing that, getting that value, I think is a really good deal for the Bengals. And my hope here, as I kind of mentioned earlier, is that this is the first step in what should be a lot of different moves by the Bengals. It should be an active offseason. They've got plenty of salary cap space to spend, and they can create more if, as we'll get into, they handle their business properly with Tee Higgins. Right now you got a giant Joe Burrow cap figure, which you don't need. You got a big Trey Hendrickson, big Jamar Chase, big Tee Higgins. You pay Higgins and Chase this year, that's going to take up the majority. Those cap numbers are going to drop. They will go down if you pay those guys. And then whatever you do with Hendrickson, you can get another defensive tackle, multiple edges, a linebacker to potentially replace Jermaine Pratt. We'll see what happens there. Secondary help, a new offensive guard to replace Alex Kappa, maybe some extra backfield depth. Money, cash, shouldn't be an issue for this team. Cap space is not an issue. Even for a team that's going to want to carry $10 to $15 million in roller funds, that's fine. The Bengals have 59 guys under contract. That's a pretty good amount. They've got $50+ million in cap space. Gesicki's going to take, let's just say it's 5. Let's say they go down to 45. We'll even round down. $45 million before you do anything with Higgins and Chase. That's plenty of cash. And my hope here, and plenty of cap too, my hope is that the reports of Tee Higgins and his private jet flying back into Cincinnati, I don't know if that actually means anything about a deal getting done in the near future, but I think it'd be great if in the next 48 hours Higgins gets paid. And the Bengals kind of earn back some goodwill from the Hendrickson situation, which we will see how that still plays out. What did the Bengals pay T? Because I look at this roster and I go, hey, who else are you going to pay? Like, it's like they're chock full of all these great draft picks of, oh yeah, we got to pay this guy and that guy. Like, they've kind of missed those. And that's puts them in a bad spot. But, after the Jermaine Burton disaster, like, just pay T. Don't overcomplicate things. So do you believe, and if you want to emphasize the belief part, I get that too. Do you believe the Bengals will sign Tee Higgins before NFL free agency? Why for yes and for no? We'll spend some more time on T here in a second. But go vote in the comments section of today's show. Again, I don't know if I did a good job explaining it. The rumor is that T and his private jet are flying from Florida, where he's been training, to Cincinnati. He should have landed at Lunken Airport like not long ago, relative to when this video goes out. I think it'd be great if you could just get T done and not have him count the $26 million franchise tag. Don't have him continue to tweet out cap and stuff, and just lock it up and pay him and have a situation where you're in great shape and you've paid Tee Higgins and you're happy and Joe Burrow's happy. Because you can't mess this up. This is a massive offseason for the Bengals. Good first step, or maybe second step time when we want to count Trey Hendrickson. Good first step in getting Gesicki paid. It's not very expensive. 3 years, $25.5 million. That's fairly cheap. He's not a great blocker. That's okay. You now are set at tight end. You don't have to do the 1 year cycle of contracts with Uzama and Hurst and the Irv Smith disaster class. Now you've got Gesicki locked in. And given Higgins' injury issues, Gesicki can contribute as a key pass catcher there. And now you can go pay T. That's going to be an expensive deal. And you can go pay Chase. And you can go throw money and throw draft picks at a defense that desperately needs it, regardless of what ends up happening with Hendrickson. So overall, I think good news, good signing on the Mike Gesicki side. Hopefully, progress to come on the Tee Higgins side, and of course, Jamar Chase as well. Keep it locked in here to Bengals Breakdown for more updates, all free agency, and of course, NFL Draft long.